Almost forgot to turn the audio on. Caught myself. Well, we're at that point in the project where we have to do some mind work. The excitement of the initial design work is over. Let's see, let me cut this. And let's put that in cladding. Wall cladding. I have too many layers. And we'll make a group out of it. And you know, it's funny when you first start a project, it's all exciting and you're really creative, you're being creative, and it's fun and fresh. And then, let's see, I need to move this back. Or let's just make our window trim thicker. Oh yeah, the trim needs to be thicker anyway. But then 1/4, is that enough? Yeah, that's good. Then you get past all that and it's time to, I wonder if I should do that or just cut the, I want this window trim to be at least 1 inch thick anyway. So I want it to be out to here plus 1/4. There we go. And I think these other windows are, yeah, these are all components. So when I changed that one, these windows changed, which is the glory of using components. And this one, why is that showing? This is one thing, you know, I'm hoping there are aliens, because when they come, I'm going to ask them why SketchUp can't fix this, where I'm obviously out past, my trim is thicker than my batten, right? But when I'm back here, I can see at particular angles, see? I can see the battens through it. And what happens is, you know, when you're trying to be productive and you copy that background and make it siding, it's the same, you know, size as the window. So it doesn't, you know, I guess what I'm saying is that if I wanted this to be perfect, I would take all of these but I was trying to save a step because I like being productive. But sometimes software developers aren't into production. They're into cutting corners, like some contractors I know. Just kidding. So it just takes a minute or a few seconds, maybe a minute, to pull these down and then put them right there. Now I don't have to worry about that. What in the world happened there? Somehow I accidentally. You see what happens? It just opens up all kinds of cans of worms. And this one didn't. So you see, I could be laying out the floor plan for the next project I have to do. I don't have to do, I want to do. But I'm stuck doing this mess. I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to be funny. And it's not working. So now, that'll look pretty good. And I'll have to go make myself a corner board. I'll do that. Once I get all the battens on, I will. And see, there's the other thing. You see that? See here where this floor system is? That's the floor system, and that's the wall. And of course, I'm trying to cover that up with siding. But look, if I do a perspective view now, it's going to show. I'll have to. It's just honestly, it's kind of annoying. But anyway, this is not Tony complain time. This is supposed to be sharing SketchUp time, so we'll do that instead. I'll try anyway. What I usually do is I'll copy these, the face of the wall. I meant to just grab the face of it, like that, and then, there we go. And I don't understand. I don't want to come out 40 feet or 20 feet. Since I've installed the new update, for some reason I have a little glitchy thing going on with my control button, and usually you can just hold the control down. See, when you're moving something, and now it's wanting to push-pull. I guess you just got to let go. Let go, Tony. Let go of the dark side. And so now what I did was I copied the faces of those two walls, because see, that floor system is interrupting it. And now I can just kind of clean it up by taking this down to here. And getting rid of this. Now what I can do is just cut this out. And you might say, well, why are you doing all this? Well, I have found that this is one way to do this. And you kind of have to develop your own ways over a period. Paste in place. Over a period of time, you'll develop ways for yourself that seem to be easier for you based on how you draw. So I'm going to select this stuff, make a group out of it. Then I'm going to go inside there and explode everything. Is there anything to explode? I guess not. I thought I had. Okay, good. What I'm trying to do is get rid of this little line, and they were there. I want one face for all humanity. Now I'm noticing what happened to my soffit. Well, see, there's a soffit there. It's just that it's that same old problem. When I back up, I can see the blocking through. It almost makes you not want to get into much detail. I know SketchUp's not really made. What am I going to say here? In some sense, it's made for detail, but in other senses, it's not. So, if it was, then the makers would have experimented with this type of stuff and realized that, hey, we got to deal with this issue of things ghosting behind other objects. It's a pain in the tootie. Because what if I want to do an elevation? I want to be this. I want the camera to be this far away. I want to fill up the screen, the view with that. And now I got to deal with these blocks showing through. You say, well, Tony, won't you just turn off that layer, roof framing? I can. It's just another step I have to do. I could just leave that on, and not have to deal with that, But now I have to save a layer state. I have to go through an extra step to correct something that really, I know you're saying, why are you complaining? You're not pushing up daisies 3 feet. You shouldn't be complaining. Now, what happened to my floor system? There it is. So I was missing my bottom plate there. Because what we want is this siding to hang down 1 inch. This is our siding, so it needs to hang down. And I'm going to make a corner board here. And what this is Hardy, James Hardy, oops, I forgot to get rid of that little line, didn't I? This is James Hardy fiber cement sheet siding. You can get it in 4x8, 4x9, 4x10. I think you can even order it 4x12. And so what you do is you'll just cover the whole wall with it, and then you cover the joints with baton strips. Yeah, that's French. Baton strips. And so then I have this cool extension that Chuck Valley lets me use for mentioning him in the video. He's a nice guy. He's an architect in California. Wall cladding. He has this neat Valley Architects extension for SketchUp. It has all these cool things. Wait, I could spend a week on this one extension, but the one I use the most is this cladding. Okay, because you go to wall cladding, and it has all these neat, siding and logs. It has brick, slate, all kinds of realistic stuff. Because when I'm choosing battens, and it just occurred to me, I gotta put a trim board like this in the middle, so don't let me forget to do that. Because that's a natural thing. You'll usually get a 10-foot sheet, which will make it up to here, hopefully. What is that? Oh, that's 12. So we'll have to go down. We will have to run. That reminds me, I need to move this trim board down. Let's see. Yeah, I need to move that trim board down to where I got some framing issues I got to deal with when I do the front here. But I thought I would just do a quick live stream. And oh, that's the garage. I was going to say I'm missing a foundation vent, but that's the garage, so that's filled in. So let's keep going, Tony. Keep going. So what we're going to do is take this batten strip and trim it. These batten strips. Bring them up to there. That's not too much of a step to do. That's not bad. Now, if I wanted to take the time, I could have made the opening in that siding bigger, but I found it's easier just to go grab the ends of these battens, because that extension goes to, the opening, and since my opening is the rough opening, it doesn't trim, the battens don't trim themselves back to whatever size trim you're using. So that's not a big deal. Now this is weird. Oops. My vent is stuck inside the wall. It's supposed to be out. Let's see. Let me get my axis locked. Where's my axis? There it is. 1 inch. There we go. That's fixed. you'll notice I took the batten strips, they're on 2-foot centers, because see, your hardy siding is the hardy sheet siding is 4 feet wide. So if you'll plan it properly, you can start, and my siding guy knows I'm kind of anal about this, where the joints start. I'll start the joints like this, so the batten strips are, on equal sides, either that or right in the middle. Depends on how it works out. Since we have a gable vent on this house, I thought it would be nice to start the battens, off the center, like this. Now, you might think, well, no, it looks better to do it the other way, but whatever. The siding guy can do it really however he wants to. I just want to show it one way or the other. And what happened to my garage slab, man? Oops, that's the wrong button. I had a slab that I accidentally deleted. I've got to start locking layers, because sometimes I will delete things accidentally, and it's really kind of annoying. It says garage slab right there. Oh wait, no, there it is. Oh, why is it up in the air? I think I know why. No, I don't. Well, anyway, it's supposed to be at the bottom of the garage floor. I mean, the door. Now, you got to be careful in SketchUp, because you will find yourself sometimes grabbing things, like just now when I grabbed that slab to move it down. Sometimes you'll accidentally grab something back here, like the window, and then tomorrow you'll come and say, well, dang, what did I not move that? This is the thing. I'm pretty sure I have gremlins in my drawings. I'm pretty sure I fixed that batten strip. But you see, what if I accidentally grabbed the end of that batten strip and moved it down? That would be not very likely. Let's see if I have any comments. There's Richard. Hey, Richard, how's it going? And I think we adjusted, I don't remember. Oh, I know what it was. I know what happened here. I moved the block opening over 6 inches for the framing. So I need to fix that. I like the framing to come down on the inside of this block when you have this condition, so that you'll have something to nail a trim to. And the block was, let's see if I'm at the bottom of that stair now. Yeah, see how the slab's at the bottom of those 2 steps in there? That's where I want it to be. So that means this. That means the block will only be cut out for that much. Most likely it'll be cut out to here, and you'll just turn down. Let's see. It'll be at that course right there. So they'll just leave out a course of block, and then your slab, the edge of it, not the whole thing, but your slab will be turned down right at the edge to make it thicker. Just on the edge for about a foot back, maybe 8 inches to a foot back. And I'm not showing the ground. I gotta fix the grade. All this is below ground out here. I have a meeting at 11, so I have to watch the clock. So now, for now, I'm just going to, let's see, what were we going to do? This is how we were going to do this. This opening doesn't look like it's lined up. Oh, the doors, that's weird. The door's sticking out. How did that happen? Now let me copy this. Roger. I'll come out 30 feet this time. Give myself some room to work here. So I know that's got to be covered up. That's the floor system that starts after the garage over there. So this all comes down. And this comes down. To here. And then that steps up right there. Let's see, let's get this out of this layer, out of that group first. Let's take this and cut it out. Cut and then get out of that group and paste it back in place. There we go. Now I can get a reference point. Where can I get a reference point? Right here. I just need a horizontal line I can take and put right here on the edge of this framing. And that'll show me, and then I need to go up. Where's my rafters? Rafter, oh, I turned it off, okay. That needs to go up to at least, let's see, it needs to go up to at least here, 1'3". 1'4". Let's go up 1'4". There's my reference mark. I'm going to go over here and put that there. Then I'm going to draw a line coming up. 1'4". What? That didn't feel right. 1'4". That's right. It didn't look like it was just enough. Where's my axis? There it is. And I can delete that. Now, I wonder if it's easier. The problem with adjusting these openings before I put the battens on is I don't know exactly, it might be just wasted time because I don't know exactly where the battens are or this opening is in relation to the window trim. So that's why I found in the past it's easier just to go ahead and make this this siding. It's really 3/8. It's nominally 3/8 of an inch thick, but it's really only like 5/16. And then we will go get our Valley Architects instant cladding. And since I've already set the parameters before, all I have to do is hit run. Did I not select the face? Oh, okay. I gotta select the face and then hit run. And see, that's what's cool about that extension. Once you set it up, once you adjust that one particular style in your drawing, it'll save it like that. And you can use it multiple times. And you can even save it as its own style. But I used to draw these things by hand. I used to, draw batten strips. I should have, you know what I should have done? I should have ran that, I need to move all that down. I used to draw all this stuff by hand, batten strips and everything. 3 1/8. Well, you know what? The batten strips don't actually go there. The batten strips will actually go here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little line across there. Then I'm going to move the battens back out 30 feet. I do that particular amount so I'll know what to move it back. And then I'll draw my line all the way across. Let's see. It goes to about that window. I'll just have to, I don't know if this is the best way to do this or not. Yeah, that is the best way. Because what happens is you'll want to, these battens will stop wherever the porch is. Delete my line. But you can either stop the siding there too, or you can let it's thin enough to where you can run it down behind the band if you want to. It depends on when you do the porch framing. I actually like to put flashing behind the porch band and do the porch band and then set the siding on top of it. That way, if you ever need to change the siding out, it's not behind it. But there we go. Oh shoot, I forgot to bring this down. I can still do that. Yeah. Oops. What happened to that one? So I grabbed all of them. Now see, no, I'm inside the group. I was going to say you got to be careful what you're grabbing, but I'm inside the group, so I should only be able to grab stuff that's inside that group. And I shouldn't have to worry about all the other stuff behind it, accidentally grabbing it. Now I just have to go in here and, still in that mode, yeah, move all this stuff up. Which is still faster than me having to try to draw all of them. Something didn't feel right about that. It felt funny. Like I lost my axis or something. My axis. Don't want to lose your axis. Either comments, Just got in from the early shift, picked up eggs. All right. I used to love getting those fresh eggs when I would visit my grandmother. When we would spend the night with her, she would always have us go out and get eggs for breakfast. And the funny thing about it is that the hens wouldn't lay in the chicken house. They would lay sometimes they didn't get put up, and so they would have laid wherever, even in the yard. So it's almost like every day was an egg hunt for us. It was kind of funny. Or I don't remember exactly. I mean, I was a little kid, but it might have been that some of the chickens had gotten out, and so we were just. Let's see. I know this window's at least. What's going on here? I know this window is at least 5 feet tall, so I'm going to go down 6 feet. Then I'm going to go get it later. Go fix it after I get this. My push-pull tool. But the eggs were always, they were the brown, the organic, the natural eggs. Not all those commercial hormone-laden eggs. And that's not a conspiracy theory. How do you think the eggs get white? I don't know how they get white, Richard. Do they bleach them or something? I forgot. Is it the way they raise the chickens? I forgot why the eggs are white that you buy in the store. I thought it was because of how the chickens were raised or what they were fed. I want to make this trim thicker too. I don't like the way that extension I have for these doors makes the trim 3/4 of an inch, but we always use 1 inch trim around because it gives you more of a reveal. And see, I can see that floor system behind. I don't know, it's annoying, man. So I always have to make sure my views, like that'll be, what view is this? Is west. I haven't really set up the views yet. I need to start doing that now that we are getting closer to doing printed drawings. I can go into my scenes, go down here and add one. I'm going to say this is the west elevation. And I haven't decided, sometimes I'll give it a little angle just so to make it more interesting. Yeah, I might just show some of that side like that. I might call that the west elevation, and then I'll just up here update it. And usually what I'll do is change the opacity on this glass so that you can't see through it when we start printing drawings. So, because it's kind of honestly, some people have asked questions. I know some of my customers have asked questions about what some of the lines are, and they don't realize that in the SketchUp you can have glass that's opaque and you can see behind it, but on a printed drawing, sometimes like that line, they don't know that's the stair inside the living room, so they're like, what's that line? Okay, so what I do is I'll go into my materials and select it, and I'll go edit it, and I will make it a little more gray and then a little more white, and then I'll take the opacity up to where it almost blocks it out like that. Well, I didn't quite get it, did I? There we go. And it needs to be more gray. There we go. That will work better for your printer. But it still kind of gives the illusion that it's glass. And that should have, yeah, that should have been all of the glass like that. Yeah. What time is it? Good, I still got time. The ones that I had laid blue egg. Oh, I know. We had, it's weird because I know what you're talking about, because I don't know if it was blue, but it was like, I guess it had kind of a tint of blue. It wasn't white. They never laid white eggs. They were always either brown or, tan looking, like they had been laying in the dirt, and you're like, what's that about? And then you're like, oh, that's not dirt. That's the way they're laid. So what I need to do is figure out what we might have to do is, I need to talk to Mark about this. If he wants a band around here, if you want to save some money, the budget way to do this is to let your siding come down and hang down an inch past your. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna fix this. You let it hang down an inch past your bottom plate. And of course I got to put corner boards on, so that's why the corner's still exposed like that. But that's the most affordable way to do it. The more expensive way, and some people think looks better, is to put a band like this, a trim band like this at the bottom that's hanging down an inch below the plate. And then you're able to use the 10-foot sheets, or then you go, then you go up to 10 foot, and then you got a band, and then you can go another. How tall is that? Why can't I'm trying to select that. There we go. Right there. That's 12 feet. We're gonna have issues. The wall's so tall that we're going to have so in that case, the most affordable thing to do would literally to just come up whatever size sheets, like we'll do it this way. We'll come up, let's say they get 10-foot sheets, 10 foot. Then you would have a line across there where the Z flashing goes between the sheets, like that. So you would see a line there. But what you do is the battens lap over that, right? You don't put all the joints of the battens right there. You stagger the joints over, back and forth, so they're over that. And then where would another 10 feet go? Yeah, that's going to look natural. Let's see. Let's turn the roof off for a second, and I can get to that. That's one thing nice about SketchUp's 2020, 2021, having the folders. I can turn off, the whole roof. If you have your layers set up properly, your tags, then you can, I can now just turn the roof on and off. So that is the most affordable way to do it. And so what the little Z flashing looks like is just a flashing that comes up an inch, comes down and over and then down again, and it goes dun, 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 and it sits out over the face. Now I'm not going to show that thickness across there, because it just makes the drawing look, it makes it look thicker in real life. These are the little tricks you learn in drafting or whatever, architecture. When you print that, when we print this drawing, that line will look like it's a 1/2 inch thick. If I drew it a 1/2 inch wide, then the line would look really thick and bulky across there. So the trick is just to insinuate, what we're trying to do in architecture or, design is just, we're trying to show what it might look like, but you can't always include all of the lines that you would think, because the lines are, you're printing ink on a paper, and that ink has a thickness as it bleeds on the paper. So sometimes you'll just, draw a solid line or a single line and let that represent something. And then the emphasis is not so much on that. You see, you will see a line across there, but it won't be as prevalent after you paint it. You paint that flashing the same color as the siding, and it is still there, but it's not like a big, thick, heavy line. Now, that's the cheap way to do it. Is to put that Z flashing there, and then put your battens over it. And those battens going over it help mitigate the effect. Now, the more expensive way to do it is to put a band like this at the top and the bottom. But the problem with that is you're adding the expense and the labor of the band, the trim band, and your Z flashing is bigger and more expensive, because what you have to do then is have a Z flashing that goes behind this siding out over, come out over this and down the face of this a little bit. So you still have to have the Z flashing. It's just bigger and more expensive. And of course you've got the labor and material of installing the trim band. So I'm going to present both ways to him. Now, I will admit that sometimes having that band around the base is more attractive. But I've built 2 or 3 houses for myself this way. And if you have good design, like if you have, and this is the trick to architecture, if you have good form and good proportion to your building, good design, then you don't need a lot of little tricks to make it look good, right? You can keep the facade simple. It's like you've seen old stucco old buildings that have just stucco on them and no detail at all, but they were designed well, so they looked very nice. You see, simple can be nice and elegant, and also inexpensive. So if you're tight like me, you like simple and inexpensive. Time is it? I got about 10 more minutes. So that is enough to get that point across to the owner. And the other thing it will do, the funny thing about it is I have this little selfish desire to put the band there because that floor system's bleeding through depending on what angle. But if I set this view up, I just have to be careful. Like I might set this would be the east elevation. And just to give the east elevation a little more character, a little more depth, I might set it up like this. Although this is kind of a faux pas in architecture. On construction documents, you're supposed to have it very benign looking, like that. But I like to do it like that because it doesn't hurt anything. As long as all the information is still there. And sometimes you can portray more information this way. Let's see, this would be let's raise that up. Let's go to our scenes. This would be the east elevation. Okay, you gotta make sure you save it before you go update. Now I'm gonna go to the north elevation and kind of give it the north elevation kind of a slant to the front. And I'm going to fix this grade. I'm going to have a grade on here. The problem is is that I was given erroneous information from the owner, Mark. Just kidding. Attempted humor. And so if I turn on the site, the grade, yeah, the grade information that I have is not exactly correct. So I'm going to create a whole new grade, finished grade, and it's going to be more like up here. There's not going to be as many steps going in, but you see, right now I'm just trying to set up the view of it, and so I will call this the north. This is the north elevation because it's facing north. Update. And what does that leave? The south? The south, baby. Just kidding. So I might, just do that, and then I gotta get these in the right order. Well, this being the south. And what we try to do is just pick the direction that is the most prominent. So if this was the southeast elevation, it's really more like the southeast elevation. Instead of calling it that, it's like naming it. Okay, so it's facing more south than east. So we're going to call this the south elevation, like that. I'm going to put it like that and update it. Now what I'm going to do is, what elevation? We'll start off with the west, so that'll be my first. Then we'll go to the south. So I'll move up. I'll move the south up. And then we would go to the east and north. That's right. So if I was doing an animation, I would have west, south, east, and north. There we go. And I think, yep, 10:40. I'll cut it off here because I have to go prepare for my 11 o'clock meeting with my customer in Phoenix. And so I'm going from Idaho to Phoenix. This is Idaho, northern Idaho, where all the UFOs hang out, to Phoenix, where the UFOs were created. Or near where they were created. Anyway, nearer. Anyway, let me check to see if there's any other comments. I see the YouTube spies didn't like the chat about the eggs. What happened? The chat about the eggs. I missed that one, Richard. You'll have to explain what happened. Wanted to get demonetized because of egg talk, the organic botulism egg talk. 10:41. Do I have time to put a new grade on here? I think what's really happening is the grade is not as steep as I thought it was. So if I go up here and I just draw myself a big, not a big one, but I'm just going to draw. That was obviously not a good idea. Let's do this. Put myself a group. I know it slopes a little bit, so what I'm going to do is, they said they were going to have about 8 inches. I'm going to put it right about here. But see, the problem I'm trying to stress to the owner is that I know that this slopes a little bit. I'm gonna say it slopes at least 8 inches. So they may have a little bit of a issue when they start to do their garage. But I want at least a block sticking up out of the ground back here. See, because you don't want the earth above your foundation vent. The earth So what I'm going to do now is just take this point and kind of move it to there, just to have a front yard. And then we'll move it over this way. Let's see. It's a little bit big. I like to have enough I didn't mean to do that. What I meant to do is put a reference line here, so I don't lose my angle, and then just pull this back a little bit, like to there. I don't know why I wanted to snap right there. That's funny, because that's about where I wanted it. I don't know if you noticed it snapped right there. Let's see if this one snaps where I want it. I don't want it to be right about here, because I want it to cover up all that stuff, depending on what view I'm looking. And then this would come out. What it is, I like to bring the grade out about 4 feet past all the features, and then not too far, because it'll make you want to make your drawings a little bit bigger, your views bigger on your sheets, and I don't like that. So if I go back to got that line. Oh. So if I go back to the west, now what you can do is, I have learned this, you can take this and copy it down, or bring it down so it hides your foundation. And then you can take this, and if you take your eraser tool and you control, that's not it. Let's see. Toggle, soften, smooth. Alt, toggle, and smooth. Shift, toggle, hide. There we go. Alright, so if I want to hide those lines, see what it does is it still hides it. That face will hide it, but the lines won't show up. So when you print it, this was a little trick I learned in the Army. So when you print it, and I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I was never in the Army. I don't want to steal valor from Richard, who was in the Army. Let's see. That's like I'm a Kentucky colonel, but I don't ever use the title colonel, because I don't like stealing valor from actual war heroes. So now, if I go to the west, you see, now that's hiding the foundation. But when I want to show the foundation, like on my foundation drawings, it will be there. So there we go. And that is good. Go to the south. And the east. And the north. I'm going to leave it right there to remind me to talk to the owner about those trim pieces. The comment about the white eggs was taken down. Some people are just, who took the comment down? You're a moderator, and I'm the owner of the channel. Who took the comment down? That's weird. Yeah, I don't think. You think they'll let you bring some eggs when you come? That would be funny. I don't know. The customs will probably take your eggs and check them for stuff they don't want brought over to the U.S. That's funny. We don't know European chicken eggs in the United States. That's funny. All right, guys, I've got to get ready for my next meeting, and so I'm gonna cut it off here. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll have to fix some more of this stuff later. But that's, in a nutshell, the siding is affordable, easy, can be easy, but it can be elegant at the same time. I'll put corner boards on, and then I'll put the other trim on later, and I will show you the finished result soon. Thank you.